Welcome back. In the last task, we used the spreadsheet we created to determine the number of boxes each building needed for the Acme company move and the total boxes needed for the entire move. In this task, we'll take the database we have created and use some formatting to make the information a little easier to read. Let's start. You should have your workbook Acme company move open. Go to Annex 2. Click on that worksheet if you're not already on it. Now we need to make some changes to the spreadsheet so that anyone, such as the moving company reading this, can understand exactly what they are looking at. So for example, let's go ahead and bold our headers. To do this, you're going to click on the number 1, which will then in turn highlight the entire row. On the Home tab, you'll see this capital B. That B stands for bold. Go ahead and click on that. You'll notice the change in the font has now become bolded. So next, we're also going to underline these phrases so that they know these are the header rows and this is the information they should be looking at. In this case, you'll see these 3 dots, and when you move your cursor over, it says More Font Options. Go ahead and single click on these 3 dots. You'll see choices between there. We're going to use underline. Click on underline. And now you'll notice that these are underlined and more readily visible as a header to our row. Next, we're going to be able to maybe create this so that it's a little easier to read. If we look at column C, the dates of the move is now not easy to read and date of move is not cut off. We need to auto format our columns so that they're appropriate size and all of the information is visible when reading the spreadsheet. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight the entire spreadsheet by clicking up here in this corner. When you do, you'll notice the entire spreadsheet has now been highlighted. You're going to take your cursor and you will move it till it becomes a kind of a barbell looking thing in between A1 and AB. When you see that, you double click, and this will automatically format to the right width for each of your columns based upon the information that is in there. So as you can see, boxes in cube are smaller than, say, the name and the date of the move, simply because the information in those cells are not as large. The next step to make things a little easier to read to the eye is we're going to add borders to the information that we have. So in this case, we're going to click on A1. And while we're there, we're going to hold the left button down of our mouse, drag it completely over to the last column we have data, and all the way down to the last column row that we have all the information for all 4 columns. Once we do that, we're going to go back up to the ribbon. Next to the B, you'll see borders. We'll click on the drop down or the caret, and you'll see there are many options of what we could do. In this case, we're going to provide all borders. Click on that, and now the borders are completely taken into, breaking up the data and making it a little easier on the eyes. Now that we have Annex 2 done, let's go and do the same process we did with Annex 1. Click on Annex 1. First thing we're going to do is we're going to bold our header names. We highlight that row, go up here to the ribbon, find B for bold, and click. Next thing we're going to do to signify that it is actually a header, we're going to underline that information. We're going to go to more font options, click underline, and all things are underlined. Next, we want to make sure that all information can be visible in the columns. We're going to highlight our entire worksheet by clicking right here. And after we click right there, we're going to take our cursor, create the little dumb bone between, and double click quickly. And at this point, it will auto format to the appropriate width of the columns that we need. And then finally, we're going to repeat our process by adding borders on. Since we've already used the all borders once, it defaults to that. We'll click on that, and the same thing will be added. Easy to read. If you need time to do this, go ahead and pause the video and restart it when you're ready. And then after this, we're going to do the corporate. go into corporate, and do the same process. Again, if you need additional time, please stop the video and resume when you're ready. Once you've completed the corporate, it should look just as the following. Now, as you can see on each tab, it's very easy to read and know what information we were looking for. This allows us and everyone else to be able to read the database of information that we have with no additional information. I encourage you to play with the borders, the font options, and see what other types things you can do. The more comfortable you get with making these changes, the easier it will be. Congratulations on completing Getting Started with Microsoft Excel. You've learned how to create your own workbook and worksheets. You started to learn how to use the navigation and ribbon of the program. You know how to format your data to make it easier to read and create basic formulas to begin to analyze your data. You can start using Excel even in your daily life to keep up your skills. Items such as your own family move or vacation items that need to be packed, inventory of your pantry staples, or bills that need to be paid for the month. Anything that can be used as a list can be used with Excel.